Something big just came out of Minnesota, and it explains a lot about where your tax dollars are actually going. Because while families are struggling, while crime is rising, and while Washington keeps asking for more money, millions of taxpayer dollars are quietly being funneled into organizations tied to some of the largest fraud scandals in the country. And it's happening right under the federal government's nose. My name is Ed. I'm White House correspondent of the Daily Beltway. And today we're breaking down what investigators just uncovered in Minnesota and why the timing matters now more than ever. Before we get into it, quick reminder, we're a growing channel. If you want real reporting that actually follows the money, every like, comment, and share helps more than you think. Here's what we know. Citizen investigators revealed that one of the largest refugee resettlement organizations in the country has been sending millions of taxpayer dollars to a Somali community center in Minnesota. That same state is already at the center of multiple massive fraud investigations involving welfare programs, child care funding, and transportation reimbursements. The organization involved is a federally funded refugee NGO. It receives hundreds of millions of dollars each year from U.S. taxpayers. And according to public records, large sums were routed to a local community center connected to networks already flagged in prior investigations. Check this out.
Congress is trying to give $5 billion of your money for refugee resettlement programs, and then it ends up in places like
this. This is the International Rescue Committee, the largest refugee NGO in the country. They get the government funds and subcontract the work out to places like
this. This is the Somali American Community Center. It receives grants from the IRC in order to help refugees resettle in America.
But when we went in, we found this.
An almost completely abandoned retail space which hasn't filed taxes in almost 10 years.
Where almost every business is focused on getting refugees on taxpayer-funded welfare programs.
And that is how the largest refugee city in the country is funded.
And how over 87% of Somali immigrants end up on taxpayer-funded public assistance.
We spent 3 days in Little Somalia in Atlanta, Georgia.
The largest refugee center in the entire country. And this is what we found.
In a video posted online, investigators walk through the funding trail in real time. They show how federal money moves from Washington through nonprofit channels and into organizations operating in the same communities already linked to fraud cases. They point out buildings tied to past investigations. They referenced grants approved with little oversight. And they explained how these funds were supposed to help resettlement, but instead ended up in systems that lacked accountability. After the clip, the picture becomes so clear. Minnesota has been ground zero for some of the largest fraud cases in recent history. Millions meant for children, transportation, and aid were stolen